Prayer power rest on me.
The next time I saw that was when I went to Brazil. I stayed in all for 14 days. I had encounters with heaven 9 out of 14 days. You know, Brazil is 4 hours in the past. And if you are using South African Airlines, South Africa is 2 hours, 1 hour in front. 1 hour in front. So when you are traveling from South Africa to Brazil, you are traveling from far future to far past. And you will never see, it will be all daylight, you will not see night until you get to Brazil. The time clock is different, and your body, it will take your body some days to adjust. So you'll be sleeping when people are awake, you'll be awake when people sleep. So when I was awake, because when people were sleeping, I converted it to prayer. I just started to pray and I was caught up. Then that kind of thing started again. I was in a new place, and I saw the person I saw that was so clear was John Knox. He was high into the heavens. He wore a garment that was like white cotton, and I knew these were the spirits of just men that were made perfect. And they were crying. They had a voice that was in baritone, and I was struggling to hear what they were saying. And it was the things that God promised them that he would do in their intercession that have not happened, that they were demanding that God must do. Oh, when that cry came to heaven, it shook heaven. It was not only John Knox that was there. I've not seen John Knox physically, but when I saw him there, I knew it was Knox. And he was the only one that I was given the grace to identify. High up into the heavens. High up into the heavens. And then there was a committee that was constituted. And this committee that was constituted, I could see the people on the committee. In fact, a detachment of angels were given to them because of the nature of the cry that those people raised. Now the search was fortunately on the continent of Africa. And they were looking for people that could be used to answer the cry of John Knox and his team. Why John Knox, I don't know. But at least I know he's an intercessor. Oh my God. That search on the continent of Africa was with a special kind of lamp. I was in the spirit and I saw this. And that lamp, when they bring it over a city, the people that they are looking for, a yellow thing will appear on their head. That was when I saw how naked Africa was. And that it may be that what you are doing, what the labor you are laboring, might be the last line of defense to secure legacies for the days to come. At the end of the day, I saw only a few people were chosen from Africa, and they stood before this cloud of witnesses. Then I saw a line. This time it was a line that the only person I recognized on the line was my friend Evangelist Ike. On this line, when you go to the person that we were going to meet, he will give you nations that you'll be in charge of these nations. So I went to the man, and the man looked at me and he smiled. It means my score was good, better than 50. That smile meant something positive. I was excited, and he gave me 3 nations. Nations were like pieces of paper, and he gave me Ghana, gave me South Africa, he gave me the United Kingdom. And he told me that the gospel that you preach is going to have great impact in Ghana, in South Africa, and in the United Kingdom. That this forms the shape of labor that you will do in the days to come. Your feet will be on the continent called Europe. And the things that you preach is going to resonate with foundational things of this land. That these peoples had a revival that shaped them. And I'm sending you because your voice is going to resonate with the frequency of the revival that is their true heritage, that witchcraft wants to hijack now. That happened on the 4th day. So I was seeing my friend. I was wondering why Nigeria was not, when I peeped, because Evangelist Ike was behind me. I peeped into his own distance. I saw 3 nations. And what was big on it was Nigeria. So I told him, I said, you are in Brazil, but I saw your name. I saw your name. That was on the 5th day. And I began to pray. I began to pray. I said, okay, what do you demand from me? What do you demand from me? When I came out of the plane, my desire for my government job, it fell off my heart. Every new season will demand something. These things I tell you, you will not find it in Bible study. It is when you are quickened to journey the walk that is in the presence of God. And I preach what I preach today because God is calling his sons and his daughters, because he wants to give them blueprints and templates to work with. Suddenly, I began to see signs, great signs. And it was when I came back that anytime I had an invitation to Ghana, I would go, because God said, today, there are so many preachers in Ghana, but God spoke, and I've seen the effect, the initial effect of what God wants to do in that nation. Friends, there's something God wants to tell you now, and that will become the meaning of what God is expecting from your life in this season. The reason why we did School of the Spirit is so that you can understand the government that is hid in his presence. There are many things that your eyes will never see outside of the presence of God. As I minister to the sick and minister in the supernatural, that cherub never comes to strengthen me on the pulpit, because I know the 2 angels that minister with me until the month of April. That was when that cherub now started supporting me. His own hand is on my head, I feel it. Meanwhile, the others is on my fingers. There are some feeling in your life that has meaning, especially when you started feeling it consistently. When the presence of God begins to build around you, it is full communication. These are things that you have to discern, so that you will know when God wants you to take an action that will bring forth deliverance. Many people that have been sent to destroy you will discover how impotent they are if you understand the things that I'm talking about. Your life will not end the way your father's own ended. There is a covenant that is at work. The people that God will use are not many. He will preserve the few that he has now. There are not many. I recommend that you take some time to go on an adventure, because God has something to say. God has something to say. My prayer points changed. My emphasis changed. The way I studied my Bible changed, because I was seeing something beyond what I was used to. I was used to being a preacher in Makurdi. I love Makurdi. I love standing on this pulpit, but I know that a time will come where it will take time before I stand. A new season